Currently, he heads process and training at Care Health Insurance, where he continues to mentor leaders and reshape workspace culture. Mr. Pankaj Wadhwa.
A very powerful reminder that some of the best learnings happen through simplest of experiences.
How do you ensure technology reinforces governance and outcomes instead of just automating bad processes faster?
What is the red flag or the common thread among all these fake certifications is that they all sell speed over substance.
Hello everyone and welcome back to FaceTime with Leaders powered by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm your host Tanayol and our guest this evening has spent over 2 decades driving transformation and building capability at scale across industries. He has strengthened sales capability for 5,000 plus professionals in telecom, delivered a 20% performance uplift with Jana Bank's Kalam Project and led Agile transformation at Care Health Insurance. From designing learning academies to coaching leaders at Apollo Tyres to coaching leaders at McDonald's, Samsung, Deutsche Bank and more, his impact is far reaching. He is also the author of the Amazon bestseller Not Long Back, a book on building high-performing, inspiring workplaces. Currently, he heads process and training at Care Health Insurance, where he continues to mentor leaders and reshape workplace culture. Mr. Pankaj Wadhwa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Tane, and I'm excited to have this conversation with you. And I must say it was a fantastic introduction. I'm really humbled, by it. So go
Thank you
on.
so much, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
looking forward to.
Sir, you've had this inspiring journey, but we love to first start from the beginning. Like, could you please share with us your career journey, the experiences that shaped you, the milestones that stand out, and what inspired you to take this path?
Now that you have asked me this question, Tane, and when I reflect upon it, I could say that the start of my journey was like an opening scene of a web series. And the star of that opening scene or the web series would be Coconuts, by the way. Yeah. So I joined this organization called Ketla Pharma, and they were launching a new division. And the company got this unique idea. They said that every time we go out and meet a doctor, we will symbolically, break a coconut together, with that doctor. Okay. And now it sounds funny, but imagine, during those days, every day you have to go from one clinic to the other, 8 to 10 doctors, break the coconut with them. But my, line was very simple. I used to tell the doctors that now that you have launched us, it's better that you support us. Yeah. And there are some powerful lessons, by the way, that have stayed with me with that experience. First of all, ideas are great, but execution, it really takes courage. That's the first one. Second is, for any growth to happen, you have to break the comfort zone. And, the third one, which is important here, is that, you have to celebrate the small wins also, because those are the ones which create bigger momentum. Okay. And at the end of the day, consistency would beat brilliance. Okay, hands down. And some of these, experiences have shaped me over the years, and they made me resilient. But then fast forward after, a successful sales career, I became curious. I started to think as to why some people they succeed as compared to others, even though they have the similar tools. And I also realized that my passion isn't in selling products only. It is in terms of building capabilities in people, helping organizations to transform. And from sales floor to the boardroom, my question became very simple. How can we help, individuals to bring their best selves to work every day? And that then turned into passion. And soon I started, designing leadership development journeys, shaping the organizational culture, improving the performance. But one thing that I have learned over the years after working with, across industries and across leading organization, that for any transformation to happen, you don't need fancy strategies. You don't need, PowerPoint slides. It is about, doing small actions consistently, believing in them and doing them, with some kind of purpose. And that is, what, get the results going. So this is something that I have realized. And but all this entire piece, okay, funny enough, started with coconuts, which is, again, a very powerful reminder that some of the best learnings happen through simplest of experiences.
Absolutely. In any field of life, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Nokia Academy changed behavior for 5,000 plus people across concept stores, priority dealers, organized trade, multi-brand outlets. Behavior change at that scale is wild. If you had to bottle the playbook, what are the three moves that actually shift frontline habits beyond nice desks and hype videos?
You're absolutely right, Tane. Scale at this kind of a level doesn't happen through PowerPoint slides. So let me share with you a quick story. So I was delivering a retail sale program in Agra, and in that particular module, there was a section about grooming and hygiene. And keeping, tobacco and chewing tobacco was a no-no in that particular module. While I was delivering that program, one of the store owner kind of, stood up, and he said that, "Sir, this grooming won't work here in our territory." And I was curious. I said, "Why?" He said, "Because chewing tobacco is considered completely normal here. We do that all the time. Doesn't matter whether customers are there or not." But by the way, at that point in time, when he asked me, I could sense the entire energy in the room. The people, they started looking at me. They were curious how, I would handle the situation. And I didn't confront that person. I simply asked him a question. I said, "When you go to your place of worship, okay, do you keep the tobacco in your mouth?" And he said, "Come on, sir, what are you saying? We are standing in front of the God. How can we do that?" And I asked him, "Okay, so in our culture, don't we consider our customer as our God?" And there was pin drop silence. Everybody, I could see the people were nodding, the energy shifted, and from there on, the program went, very smoothly. But there was a learning I carried from that experience, which is that whenever you are talking about change and transformation, you have to connect the head and the heart together. From there on, scaling it for 5,000 people were not very easy because we were not dealing with management graduates. There were simple salespeople, passionate people. So we designed in-store videos with real customers, okay, and the salespeople. We kind of designed cue cards, short videos, and all these material used to go in small nuggets to reinforce the behavior on a daily basis. Managers were important for the success, so we trained and coached them into how to reinforce the behaviors. The leadership, by the way, was interested in knowing the impact, so we conducted mystery audits, okay, to show them as to how the needle is kind of moving in this kind of this thing. But if you look at change and transformation and take other industries also, say for example FMCG giants Hindustan Unilever Limited or a Nestle, for example, how do they reinforce similar brand stories and visual reminders through daily rituals? Look at banking. They conduct the branches. They conduct daily huddles. Again, small rituals. Look at hospitals, okay, hand hygiene, they reinforce through visual cues. So across industry, the mantra remains the same. In case if you want to look at transformation at scale, okay, so across industries, the formula remains the same. Connect emotionally, not just intellectually, reinforce behavior through daily rituals, and make it easier for the people to do the right things than the wrong ones. At Nokia, we were able to achieve this because we were able to change the beliefs of the people. And when you are able to change the belief, the behavior they automatically follow.
Very well said, sir. I think audience will be taking notes right now. Kalam Project at Jana Small Finance Bank lifted performance by 20% across 150 branches, milestone based clean design. What was the non obvious design choice that made it click and what almost broke it?
You see, Kalam project was a very unique one in our industry because the why was clear right from the start. There were certain branches, which were not doing well. They were facing high attrition, low performance, bad customer experience. So our goal was pretty simple: reduce attrition and improve the performance of these branches around 8 different business parameters. But the problem was a little bit complicated because these 150 branches were spread across, the country, and each had their own unique ecosystem and their regional flavors. And right from the start, we were aware that this is not a skills problem. This is a behavior problem. So we used and created an influence model which had four core pillars. The first one was, capability building. So we did on the job coaching, which can reinforce, the change and the shift there on the spot. Much like the same way it happens in software development, if agile teams, they have sprints and they learn from every sprint. Okay. Second one was the social behavior. Okay. So we shot the videos of successful branches who were doing really well and then used to circulate it, among other branches. So peer learning from peer. Okay. Much the same way it happens in retail stores also. If one retail store has done some kind of innovation, then it spreads across the other retail stores. The third piece was the business ownership. Okay. So in our programs, all the communication used to happen through business people, the business head. They were the ones, used to come in the program. They were the ones who used to, give awards. Okay. And something similar happens in FMCG, in hospitals. There also you see, the operational leaders, they lead transformations like these, not the support function. And the fourth and the important one was recognition. So when people they were moving from this milestone based journey from silver to gold to platinum, we used to celebrate that because whatever gets celebrated, gets implemented, right? Now, what broke it was fatigue at the end of the day because 4 months down the line, people were juggling with too many things and they didn't have time for this kind of an initiative. So we did something very counterintuitive. Okay. Instead of accelerating, we said, let's take a pause. Okay. And we call it as a reflect week. No program, no modules, nothing. So these teams, they used to meet up. They used to talk about what are some of the good things, what are not some of the good things, what are their successes, what are their failures. And soon they realized that, hang on, this is not an initiative led by HR. Okay, this is something that they themselves are doing. So they came, back on track. And if I have to kind of uh, bottle this playbook, okay, but before bottling this playbook, what I would say is that in an year's time, okay, the attrition dropped and there was a 20% improvement in 8 different business parameters. So the complete performance of these 150 branches, it changed. So if I have to bottle this around a playbook, I would say the first one is treat transformation, as a journey, not as an event. That's very important. Right? Second is involve business around these change and transformation. Okay, business ownership is important. Third is do not ignore the power of social influence. It can either build it up or kill it. And fourth or the fifth one point is that do not wait for perfection. Okay? Celebrate progress. Okay? Because transformations, whether it is about tech or FMCG, etc., it doesn't come from pressure. It comes from pride.
Very well said, sir.
Thank you.
So, AI in learning is exploding from auto generated content to adaptive pathways. Where do leaders go wrong when they scale learning tech? And how do you ensure technology reinforces governance and outcomes instead of just automating bad processes faster?
Tanay, you have asked a very relevant question. Huh? I mean, in today's world, AI is everywhere. Okay? And you cannot just take it out. But at the end of the day, one has to remember that AI is just a tool. And like with any other tool, it depends upon who's using that particular tool. Yeah. At the end of the day, AI cannot replace human judgment, a wisdom, or a context. Okay. Let me say, for example, I mean, AI definitely has automated work. It can work faster. It can generate content in split seconds. Do coding, etc., in split seconds. But at the end of the day, as I said, it is just a tool, right? Let me give you an example. AI can code faster, but can it understand the business trade-offs? Can it understand the pain points of the customers? Can it understand the trade-offs? Not yet. In learning and development, it can generate content faster, but can it inspire belief? Can it change behavior? So let me share a quick story, right? So in one of the initiatives, we designed a leadership behavioral assessment using the AI tool. And to start with, it looked brilliant, polished, structured assessment. But when we ran it, okay, something felt off. People were not able to relate because it wasn't about what they were doing. They were too general. So the assessment, the survey was smart, but it was without a soul. So what we did was that we, using the AI, we developed that assessment again, but this time we use the human context. We use our company's challenges, our own problems, and our own scenarios. And this time when we ran it, okay, the results were amazing. Okay, people were thrilled. Why they were thrilled? Because they were able to relate with it, and it looked authentic. Yeah. But at that point in time, something important stuck with me. Yeah. So AI without a context is, like a GPS without a map. It can tell you the route, but doesn't know the terrain. Okay? And the same thing, repeats in other industries also.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
healthcare, for example. AI can kind of read X-rays, can write reports, but you still need a doctor to make a judgment. In
Yeah.
banking, it can predict the risk, but you still need the judgment of the loan officer, isn't it? So you look at other industry, for example, retail. Okay, in retail, it can predict the buying behavior of the customer. Yeah? But then you still need to create that in-store experience. And you asked about leaders going wrong. Where I think where leaders go wrong is that they think that automation is equal to transformation. I mean, if you automate bad processes faster, then you would definitely, fail faster also. So in my view, there are three or four things that you need to do. Look at wherever you are using AI, use the human judgment. Okay, use that wisdom, the purpose, and the context. Okay, and build some governance around it. That's important. So I would like to keep it very simple that in my view, AI should do the heavy lifting, but the meaningful work should be left to people
Yeah. Yeah.
because technology can scale efficiency, but people can scale impact.
Yeah. And technology was always meant to be like that, to do that work and still make people allow people to make those decisions. Okay, so now time for a little bit of fun, our very own rapid fire round. Rapid fire, few quick questions, and we request you for quick answers. So are we ready?
Yes,
Done. Tea or coffee?
accepted.
What fuels your day?
Desi style tea any day.
Lovely. A book you've gifted or recommended the most?
I think two of them. One is Crucial Conversations, and the second one is Emotional Intelligence 2.0.
Lovely. If you could instantly master one skill you don't currently have, what would it be?
I think something that I'm always trying to get better at is, connecting strategy with, with human behavior and technology. It
Okay.
is like translating three different languages into one, something that I want to become better at. I'm still learning.
Yeah. Your go-to comfort food after a long day?
Simple. Dal and roti.
क्या बात है? A movie or TV series you can watch over and over again without ever getting bored.
ऐसे तो there are three, four, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
for example, Fukre, comes to my
Okay.
mind.
Okay.
ये जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा is another
Okay.
one. Okay. Ghosla is a fantastic one. So these
Okay.
are some of the things I can watch over and over.
Lovely. Past or future, if you could time travel, where would you go and why?
I will go to the future.
Okay.
And my reason is pretty simple. I don't want to travel in flying taxis or see, what the technology has done. I am curious that, whatever we're doing right now, is it leading to, better workplaces for human beings?
Yeah.
Are we tapping into our fullest potential?
Yeah.
That is what I would like to see, not the flying cars, by the way.
Yeah. Three words that describe you when you're not working.
Three words that describe me. Okay, curious is one of them. Uh, then the second one would be storytelling. Okay, and the third is grounded. So these are the three things. Yeah.
Lovely, sir. Thank you for that. That was a rapid fire round. Now back to the slightly more serious questions.
अच्छा वापिस से
So, in today's learning and development landscape, there's been a rise in fake certifications and placement scams, from uncredited courses that promise international credentials in a week to institutes that lure individuals with guaranteed job placements for a fee only to deliver disappointing or even fraudulent outcomes. Given your vast experience designing credible, high impact learning journeys, what are the red flags leaders and learners should watch for? And how can organizations build trust and governance systems that ensure training programs truly deliver value rather than empty promises?
Yeah, Tane, you are absolutely right. Today you can get certified in almost anything, and so is the rise in fake certifications and things like that. I mean, you can become a software developer just by attending 10 days of boot camp. I mean, you can become a fitness trainer by watching few hours of videos, right? But what is the red flag or the common thread among all these fake certification is that they all sell speed over substance.
Yeah.
That is what they do. And in my view, if an organization or an individual has to protect themselves, then you have to do three simple things. Okay. What are those three things? One is look for validation. Who is offering that particular course? Okay. Are they recognized? What are their credentials? That's important to check.
Yeah.
Second is look for context. If you are learning something that you cannot apply on Monday morning, then you are learning content.
Yeah.
Okay, you are not changing anything.
Yeah.
And the third piece is, look for evidence. Okay, look for evidence of what kind of results these programs have delivered, what kind of outcomes have been achieved through them. So that is those are some of the things which are important. And governance plays a very important role, because at the end of the day it is about the credibility of the organization, it is about trust, etc. Right? So in my view, if you look at, one has to stop chasing certificates, chase capabilities, right? There is a very famous scene in that movie, na, Three Idiots. There is a statement. What is that statement? Okay.
Excellence.
Yeah,
Excellence ke piche
it is
bhagna.
around excellence, right? It
Yeah.
is about uh,
Success will come after you.
सक्सेस विल कम आफ्टर यू तो काबिलियत के पीछे भागो कामयाबी के पीछे नहीं
Yeah.
so that's the statement, so that's very powerful. And capability, kind of it takes time to travel, but it also lasts the longest.
100%.
That is what I think.
100%. Longer journey, longer perspective is always the bigger win. Yeah. Sir, you recently been engaging with Directors Institute. We would love to know what inspired you to join the institute and how has the experience influenced your perspective on leadership, governance, and creating learning environments that are not just compliant but truly credible and future ready.
Tanay, thank you for this question. My my decision to join Directors Institute came from a very simple realization. After spending years in building capabilities, helping organization to improve performance, build capability, you know, improve performance, I wanted to understand that how that some of the decisions that are taken at a board level, okay, influence everything else, underneath the people, the processes, and the business. For me, leadership has always been about creating an ecosystem where others can thrive and succeed. Okay. But if you look at board, they have a far greater responsibility, because they have to not only look at leaders and succeeding, but they also have to look at processes, organization, and the decisions that they are taking, that has got far more implications, on society, as well as the the planet. And this is what basically inspired me. If you look at I have always been intrigued by a question, okay, that has come to my mind again and again, which is that lot of spirits they die outside the office door on a Monday morning, and board should think about it, right? That what can they do? How can they, build workplaces where these spirits are alive and kicking, on a Monday morning? And the experience has been, by the way, transformational for me. One kind of big shift was realizing that good governance, okay, isn't about control. It's about stewardship of trust. And something that has stayed with me is that while compliance keeps you safe, it is credibility that helps you. Another piece has been ESG. Okay, I thought that ESG is just a kind of an add-on. But what I've realized is that for businesses, profit matters, but the planet, and the people are just as much important, right? If I have to summarize how it has influenced me, it has shifted me from an execution mindset, okay, to a mindset where I'm looking at an ecosystem. It has reinforced, okay, that leadership, learning, and governance is all about responsibility and trust. And it has kind of, strengthened my conviction that organizations must be ethical, human, and future ready, not just efficient. So, joining Directors Institute wasn't about adding a qualification, it was about expanding my ability to contribute with clarity, with purpose, and with a wider lens.
Lovely, sir. Thank you so much for those kind words, sir, and for joining us today because your journey is actually incredible. What stood out most for me today was how you connected learning and development with governance and trust. And in a world where fake certifications and quick fix programs are becoming alarmingly common, you've shown us that sustainable transformation comes with discipline, credibility, and systems that last. So, thank you so much once again, sir.
So, thank you for having me on the show. And something that I would like to leave for the viewers is that real transformation is slow, it is disciplined and deeply human, but it
Yeah,
is also the one which lasts the longest.
absolutely. To our listeners, whether you're a leader, board member, or someone just starting your career, I hope today's conversation and what Sir just said gave you practical insights on how to spot value over hype and how to build environments where people don't just learn, but they truly thrive. So, thank you so much. That is all for this time. Keep leading with purpose, keep growing, and of course, have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.